Hi guys, welcome back to learning how to play some hymns on the piano. In this lesson, I just want to cover diminished chords. We've been playing basically on major chords, and sometimes things get monotonous. That's a term we use for saying like it gets boring, you get used to it. Now you want to add some flavor to your songs, so we're gonna start decorating our chords. Remember your tonic triad 1 3 5, and remember you can invert that. You can also do the second inversion there. So I hope you have mastered that. And then we have also built on the fourth for the tonic of our scale. All right, we have done that, and I hope you can do that on any key. If you think about this, you want to go to the next key. If you just freeze your fingers there, and then you just take a semitone up, you'll be able to get to the next key. The same thing here, just a semitone. Each finger goes a semitone high. You should be able to get the next tonic triad, but obviously this goes with practice, daily practice for that matter, not just it's not an accident. It doesn't come by accident. So you gotta practice. You can practice that. I hope you will take time to do that. As long as you are earnest, you are willing, and you wanna get this right. So let me introduce you to the first chord that we will use to flavor our songs. And I'm going to use one of the hymns actually as an example for this. All right. So I will take my tonic triad, and what I'll do is I'll add a minor third. So what does that mean? I flatten the third note. Okay, remember the scale has 8. Let me explain this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Now this is 1, 3, 5. So the third is flattened. Guess what? The fifth is also flattened. So that's my diminished chord. You can do this in every scale, literally every scale. And guess what? You can also invert this chord. So if I don't want to play it in that position, I can take the C and play that one there. All right. And if I don't want to have this, I can play it there. Otherwise, that's a repetition. All right. And as you can hear, obviously they make a funny sound. It's a flattened sound actually. Just play around, taste it, check, get accustomed to it. There's a song that I love, and I'm gonna add some strings to this so that I can illustrate to you the power of the song. It's hymn 287 in the hymnal, the solfa one, by the way, because that's the point here, right? I assume you know solfa better than staff notation. That's why I'm introducing this. I'm basically taking what's in the staff notation theory or language, and I'm transcribing that to solfa notation. So hymn 287, in the hour of trial, a very lovely song, well loved, nice and easy. It goes now. If you played our normal chords, that's the chord you will play, right? But now we're going to introduce a diminished chord then. Very interestingly, I must say, this is actually the actual chord that is there in the hymn. That's how the notes are written actually. So at that part, you're supposed to play a diminished chord. You see, listen to that. Compare that with... Compare this with... I find that cool. I find it really cool. And so That is actually what is happening. Remember, I spoke about being accurate when you play your notes. So you'll realize that once we have done all these chords, diminished, augmented, and we do our major seventh, our minor seventh, the dominant seventh is actually there in this song as well. I've seen two special chords in this song so far: the dominant seven and the diminished. There are also suspended chords. You've heard about them, probably the second and the fourth, suspended fourth or suspended second. You can think of the word suspended, but we'll get to it. There'll be a separate video, obviously, for each chord as I illustrate the concept. And you will also see there's also what we call modulation in this very same hymn, where the song kind of changes the key, but it doesn't really change. But actually, as a keyboard player, you got to recognize that the key is changing there. So let's give it a try. Let's give it a try and see where the modulation happens, where the key changes. But I want you to listen to to that diminished chord. The moment I go there, you must just know I'm in the diminished chord. Okay, there's a dominant seventh that also comes there. That's gonna come. Okay, you will hear it. You will hear it. That is the tenor part that actually goes. The tenor that's the tenor that actually goes there. So let's try it. Yeah. Now we're gonna modulate. I'm in B. So did you realize that? Here's the modulation. So what have we done? We have basically switched from C major to playing a full B. That is the leading note of the scale. That is what the hymn writer, the composer here, Spencer Lane, was doing. He was just having fun. So a sad sound, I should say. The diminished, the seventh, dominant seventh. So that's playing, basically trying to be textbook to follow each note with its accuracy. So if you realize, by the way, I must just say this, you realize that the diminished chord that I'm playing here is that. So that's actually E flat diminished chord. Excuse me, because what did we establish? Here is my diminished chord. So the first note must be the root, right? But if I go to this one, here's my first note. So that's E flat, but now the ordinary E flat goes like this. So I diminished it by lowering this third and that fifth. So that is the chord that you're actually playing. In essence, the message is that each key is related to the other key, guys. There's what other musicians would call a mode of a scale. It's an old theory that is actually becoming very popular in this day, in our times. So we'll get to that obviously once we have advanced. But for now, go and enjoy the diminished chord. Go and enjoy the diminished chord. I'll come back to talk about the augmented chords. But for now, look out for those where you see a La, a Re, or a Fi. Actually, let me put it this way. Once you see a Fi and a Re together, look out for a diminished chord in your play. Okay, look out for that. But obviously, you will know others as we move on. Hope you find this quite helpful. It flavors your hymns as you play and as you practice. Keep practicing, guys. That's the best way to do this. Cheers.